Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, everybody. It's been a while. Um, so just kind of wanted to do a little bit of you know, some updates, and maybe see about trying to get some videos up and out, um, so that everybody can kind of, um, maybe, you know, get to enjoy some more videos by me. Um, even there's lots of content, but um, obviously, it depends on uh, how much you can watch. Obviously, there's only so many hours in a day, and trying to get watch, you know, like 6 hours at a time for my videos. Obviously, isn't necessarily that great, um, but it is what it is. If you can, you can. If you can't, it's all good. No worries. Um, at some point in time, and would like to try to get um, like an editor to come on and to try to try to do something for my videos, but that's going to be later down the line, if at all. So we'll just continue the grind. Um, so it's pretty much been a year since I've had to do the move. Um, and you know, unfortunately, not much has changed. Still working at the same job, still not getting um, any bites on any of the applications that I send out. Um, you know, um and I look at corporate America, and they're just laying off people left and right, and it's like it's um, you know, from where I'm sitting, I'm not liking where things are going. Um, and there's not much I can really do about it. Other than put my 2 cents here and put my votes in and stuff like that. So, um, try to have more local control on that. So, you know, um, that's about as much as I can do right now. So, um, but um, there's, you know, uh, just gotta keep on moving forward and trying to do what I can to, um, to be able to, um, you know, uh, you know, get, to be able to do more. But obviously, um, I'm limited by what I have and what I can do right now. So just, you know, like everybody else, you know, do what you can when you can, and you know, go from there, right? So, um, uh, so for now, um, as the title of the video is talking about I'm gonna try Satisfactory. Now, a friend of mine, Michael, he purchased a purchased it for me. Gave it to me, via gift, and I appreciate it. I'd actually been kind of thinking about trying it out myself and purchasing it myself, but he kind of beat me to it. So, and I didn't necessarily want to, I've always considered it as, a game that I've always wanted to try out and kind of show on stream, um, because I do enjoy the survival build style games. Um, you know, Minecraft, Subnautica, No Man's Sky. Um, I do enjoy those style of games. So now, from what I understand, Satisfactory is more build and survival, which okay. Um, you know, one thing that I'll mention though is that I don't necessarily go for games that are just straight builds. Or let me put it to you this way. Minecraft. Um, I don't. I mean, if it was just um, sandbox, you know, um, creative mode, throughout the game, and there's nothing else to it, I've gotten bored of that style of game before. So if it's just purely sandbox creative, I don't necessarily get a ton of enjoyment from those style games. Because um, it doesn't necessarily give me any kind of like challenge, to be able to just kind of go creative and build what I want. Um, um, so um, so I didn't do tend to enjoy when I can do a little bit of survival, a little bit of a challenge, to be able to kind of, you know, um, make those builds and whatnot. So that's all. Um, let's see. Um, so that's kind of what's gonna, you know, happen in the next, 20 minutes or so. Um, boy, I'm really getting kind of slow, and I'm trying to handle these uploads. um, as for the other games in, you know, that um, I haven't really played that much lately or at all. Final Fantasy VII, um, Two Point Hospital, No Man's Sky, Warframe, and Genshin Impact. Those obviously are all on hold um, until my living situation changes. So um, I don't necessarily want to be playing any of those offline, and you guys, suddenly, throw up a, random video of it, and I've made so much progress, and everybody's like, wait, what happened? That kind of thing. Not that a lot of people watch my videos, but you never know. Someone might, at some point. Um, so, um, let's see. Um, I know that there's a lot of new content that came out for Warframe. Haven't really been paying that much attention to Genshin Impact, so Most likely there's new content there. I definitely know that No Man's Sky has definitely brought out some more updates since then. Um, I hope my Final Fantasy VII save is still there. um, had some problems in the past with that, so hopefully it's still there. Um, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Um, let's see. Let's see. Anything else I can kind of talk to you about? Um, I mean, if anybody has any kind of questions or anything along those lines, you're welcome to um, drop them in chat or um, or if you're like watching this later on in I'll go ahead and kind of put this as like its own little separate beginning video, just like as a little bit of an update, so everybody, um, you know, um, that has a clear understanding of what I'm kind of going through right now. Um, so yeah. Um, let's see. Um, oh, I have been getting quite a number of comments about the videos that I did for Pega, the Pega programming. Um, and to be honest, um, seeing that I have not been able to get a job anywhere, including with, you know, Pega development, um, I don't really give a damn about it anymore. Tried putting my application in for the Pega development team, and that got shut down. Um, I've put my application towards businesses that have, put up the fact that they're looking for, um, you know, um, the software devs, or that at least, the it's been so long I don't even remember the first tier of the certification anymore. Um, and I'm still kind of getting questions on those videos, and I'm sorry to say, but I don't really give a damn about it. You know, I you know I don't really care too much about the program. You know, um, it has not led to anything significant in my day to day. So, I'm sorry to say, but you know, those videos are pretty much ancient at this point. So if anybody's like asking questions on those on that front, then um, uh, I guess continue watching the rest of the videos, and maybe your answers will be given to you. Otherwise, most likely it's already been kind of outdated by recent versions, and you're you're gonna have to find the answers either through their library or something else. So um, I have no desire of you know going back through the school um, to get to look up the answers myself. I don't really, um, I'm not necessarily, um, you know, interested that much in Pega because I have yet to get any interest in me from the Pega community other than through my videos. So, I mean, uh, sorry, I'm not, you know, I don't have, um, I put up a lot of contribution towards the Pega site, you know, uh, correcting their mistakes, trying to put up some ways of understanding and got nothing in return from it. So, there's really no incentive for me to continue on with anything along those lines. So, um, yeah, obviously, if anybody is in that community and they still want to like talk with others in that community, you're more than welcome to. I mean, there's a couple of questions on these videos already, so you're welcome to answer those folks' questions, or you can join in my Discord, ask for Pega development channel, and I can put that up for you, and guys and gals can talk there if you want. Um, but I don't really have any. Uh, I don't really have that much incentive in you know continuing with it. So that's all. Um, um, Now I'm trying to look through an old video of mine so that I can try to um, see what um, I can, show or trying to get into the swing of things again. But it's been a while. I'm not really remembering too much of what I did. Um, Screenshot looked like I was kind of doing something with the um, the 1990s um, gameplay for Warframe, but it's I haven't really seen any gameplay for it yet. So, all most that I've seen so far has been me playing around with um, what's his name, Brendel Prime. So, hmm, I don't know. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Um, I guess we'll just try to do that. Reuse details. 383. So this one would be 384. Oh. Looks like I did a 383 two times. Okay. So we'll just do 385 in this particular case. Flying around with Prime. Oh, let's see. Am I spelling Rendell properly? Don't know. No, I'm not. Been a while since I've done this, so okay, there we go. Okay, try that one out. Okay, let's see. Altered content, no. Let's see. Games. Okay. I'll have to send that off to Blackheart then. Okay. Yeah, no, okay. Save that. All that's good. Recording date was a long time ago. Oh. Okay. Weird. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, anyone can comment on my videos. It doesn't really matter on that. Add a quiz. Interesting. Seems a little weird, but whatever. Just make it public now. No need to do a schedule because I'm not on any, I'm not really doing any kind of, I'm not doing any regular streaming right at this moment in time, so I might as well just make it instantaneously public right now. So let's go ahead and do that. And published. Okay. One thing that I noticed though was the fact that the um, um, it was showing the fact that I had duplicate part numbers here, so let me see if I can correct that here real quick. Okay, so yeah, okay. Gotta change this one. There we go. Okay. And well, I only got one video up, but I mean, at least it gave me a chance to get at least one video out there. Um, and just basically showing, hey, I'm still here. So, um, okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do, um, is I'm going to stop recording on this video, and I'm just going to switch on over to Satisfactory and start like discussing things about that over there. Um, so yeah, hopefully, you all enjoy that. If you're watching this video, you know, um, either check out the live stream that I had with Satisfactory. Hopefully, it's good enough quality. Otherwise, I'm still recording these, so I'll be posting them up in, like, I would imagine better quality, um, you know, later on at the very least. So, okay, so let's go ahead and stop the recording there. And we're going to go ahead. Oh, I guess I should probably do the whole intro like I normally do with the, so people have um, so I keep the the style of the intro the same. So, okay, um, I'll be right back, folks. Stay right there. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Here we go there, everybody. Welcome to Satisfactory. This will be my very first time playing this game ever. Um, and one thing that I will state is that I don't really want any kind of backseating. Um, so, um, you know, if I need any kind of help, I'll either ask for it or I'll look it up online. Please don't put any kind of messages in chat, unless I specifically go, hey, chat, how do I do this? Kind of thing. Now, I've already kind of handled um, um, some options, and it looks like there we go. My video wasn't, or the the game was just a little too large for the screen. There we go. Fixed. Okay, so um, now I had to change a little bit of the resolution, full screens, and so on and so forth, so I can see other details. Um, I'm not really that um, familiar with you know a lot of these kind of thing. I guess I could probably go through every single last one of them, but I could probably handle that on on my own time. Now, one thing that I did notice on here, and I am absolutely thankful that it came default, is motion blur. The fact that it was turned off, that's fantastic. Love that. So, hey there, Insomniac. How you doing there, bud? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You know, it is, I know that it's going to be difficult. Um, because I'm probably going to be doing a lot of stuff that you're going to be like, all right, but, but you want to do it this way. I get it. But, um, uh, let me make these mistakes and and maybe I can figure out some way of correcting said mistakes while I play. So this is probably gonna last about an hour, maybe two. So um, probably gonna go from like 2 p.m. right now to around 3, maybe 4 p.m. Completely. So it depends. So um, uh, well, I mean, you know, motion blur. Um, if you want like quote unquote realism ish, then sure you can have some motion blur, but the problem is that my eyesight hates it. So I just some people might have no problem with it, but for me it's just too much. I'm also not. I'm worried about this camera shake. But it's set to 1, so I'm not quite sure what, you know, um, so I guess there's a certain amount of intensities on it from off, which is probably what I'm going to set it to at some point in time, to, I guess, full camera shake. We'll see how much that is. If it's too much, then I'll come back and modify that. Um, audio should be fine. I don't really think there's any kind of copyrighted music or anything along those lines, so... Oh, streamer mode, mute licensed music. Ah, there we go. Yeah, if I want realism, I'll go outside. Indeed. Um, that's a nice little mode right there. Appreciate that. We'll see how well that works. Although I find it interesting that Satisfactory is using licensed music. Oh, whatever. Maybe they'd have some here and there. Um, Not sure. So a lot of different individual volume levels here, and that's interesting. You know, you can actually decrease reverb, for example. Interesting. Okay. I I did not expect this level of um you know, this kind of focus of volume level. More, normally whenever you see a game, they just basically say, this is your standard volume and that's it. But they actually go with individual volumes for every single, I guess, process that you're going to be going through in this game. So that's interesting. You know, not not one that you normally see. So kind of appreciated on that. Especially if there's like, something in that list that just absolutely like, bugs you or something like that. So yeah. Um Keyboard and mouse, yeah, should be fine on that. Hold to snap building. Hmm. Uh, we'll hold off on that. Oh, wait, it's controller only? Okay, well, we don't need to worry about that then. Um, I don't really think there's anything else that I need to worry about here. Key bindings I'll worry about later. There's something that is a little too much confusion and whatnot, then I'll adjust it later, but for right now, should be fine. Keeping creature hostility at default. Um, I know there's a passive, there's the normal, and then there's the retaliate. I don't know. Well, let's see. I guess default is just their always hostile kind of thing. Obviously, passive is, creatures that, well, okay, we can see that down here at the very bottom of the screen there. Creature and default creatures will attack players on sight. Passive creatures will not attack players or retaliate when attacked by players, and retaliate just creatures will only attack when attacked by players. So, personally, I'm okay with the default. Um, because I want to see, you know, um, how this game is with, you know, how aggressive animals are in this game. I mean, they could be could be quite aggressive, and that might pose some problems here and there. But I mean, I'll do what I can when it happens. So, um, I like the fact that they have arachnophobia mode, although that just basically spoiled the fact that hey, there's probably spiders in this game. So, or at least something close to spiders that might trigger some people. So, um, how many different languages do they have? Oh wow, they have quite a few. Awesome. Um, so, uh, oh, there's a hold to sprint. Okay, hold on. Controls. There is a hold to sprint. Well, yeah, we'll go ahead and turn it off for right now. Um, but if there's like a stamina need for it or something like that, then or if they have stamina, to where you're always getting yourself tired out, then I might put that back on. But we'll see. We'll find out. Okay, that looks like everything's relatively good enough. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So, um, obviously I'm a first time pioneer and stuff like that, so most likely I'm going to start off with the grassy fields to start off with. Um, and some things have been kind of spoiled to me a little bit in that, you know, I know like the Dune Desert will have more advanced um, resources and stuff like that. Um, so also, one thing to note. I have watched quite a number of the Let's Game It Out videos where he has basically destroyed Satisfactory. So, um, or Satisfactory has loved his channel because of everything that he has done to the game, and so it's going to be interesting to kind of see, um, um, you know, where I'm starting out here, and kind of seeing where he was, kind of thing, because from what I understand, this world is not um, generated, so or it's the same kind of world from what I understand. So, okay. Um, let's just call it a strange world. We're not going to skip the intro because I want to do that. So let's get started. I do want to go through the tutorial because, again, I've never played this game before. So now, my friend Michael and Insomniac here, crazy. There's talk about, trying to do a, multiplayer. I'll see about maybe trying to record it if I can.
From main transport complete. Group 8 delivered to Calistian region. All pioneers functional, initiating dispersion. Attention
Hmm.
pioneer, I am Ada, your personal instance of the artificial directory and assistant.
Oh no, AI.
Welcome to the Fixit Incorporated Save the Day program. A Fixit pioneer has 3 core assignments. Construct. All pioneers must follow Fixit guidelines and instructions when constructing any building.
Okay.
Automate. Every pioneer is responsible for setting up and managing efficient pipelines, outposts, and power infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Explore and exploit. Fixit selected planets are rich with resources suitable for direct use or further investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Stay within your designated. And that is why the world is counting on pioneers like you. Fixit. Short-term solutions to long-term problems. Initiating planetfall. Atmospheric entry in 3, 2, 1. Beginning arrow assist.
A little bit of a storyline there. Okay.
Drag
Interesting.
within acceptable parameters. Descent phase begun. Decelerating. Deploying parachute. Deploying backup parachute. Skipping parachute. Landing phase begun. Activating retropropulsion.
All right.
Touchdown. Planetfall complete. Drop pod integrity nominal.
All
On
right.
situational exploration suit nominal. Pioneer. Acceptable.
Oh, okay. Just acceptable. Thank you.
Congratulations. You are the third in your region to survive planetfall.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to Massage 2, ABB, in the binary system of Akicha.
Mm-hmm.
Loading
Okay.
objective-based introduction. Begin onboarding.
Sounds good. Press tab to
First
open.
contact safety tool supplied due to presence of alien megafauna.
Mm-hmm.
Adhere to Fixit procedure and equip the Fixit Inc. Xeno Zapper before leaving the drop zone.
Okay. Press tab to open inventory, drag and drop equipment to the hand slot to equip it. Gotcha. So, uh, drag and drop. Gotcha.
Next objective, dismantle the drop pod. Fix it incorporated as
Okay.
cost-effective and efficient. We do not waste. The drop pod will be recycled to construct the first stage of the habitat and utility base, often referred to as the hub.
Heard about that. So press F to enter dismantle mode. Hey there, Lup. How you doing? The factory must grow. Indeed. Let's see. Um, nice. That was indeed pretty easy.
Next objective, use the resource scanner to find and collect additional iron to be able to build the hub. If you
Okay.
cannot find iron, be assured scans of the planet have revealed sufficient
Mhm.
iron sources.
Okay, hold V to bring out the resource. Okay, 271, 273, 292, 300, 303. And it looks like quite a number of nodes over there. But let's go ahead and, just work with like, someplace close for right now. So we're going to go towards the 271 area. Okay, it doesn't look like there's any kind of, oh, it's a toggle. So pick up some leaves. I know those are kind of needed a little bit later. Okay, 105.
Potential edible collected. Eating it and surviving does not count as a valid field test and does not generate enough data for Fixit to make an informed decision. Store this potential resource for later use.
All right. Oh, yeah. Come here, you. Come on. Come here. Okay. Come on. Come on. Ah.
Next objective, use the build gun to construct the hub. Iron is a base component necessary for all near future progress, so ensure you build the hub close to iron sources. Fixit does not pay by the kilometer.
Okay.
Samples of new alien species acquired. Notable features are blunt teeth, suggesting it is herbivorous, and a thickly plated skull and spine, suggesting it is proficient at inflicting and receiving blunt force trauma.
Yeah.
Preserve the remains for later study.
Sounds good. Yeah. Not quite the best of Matador there a lot, but I'll do what I can. It feels as though there's really times when I can't seem to get over a small incline. It's like, can you not move your feet upward? Hmm. So there's slight problems in that kind of style of the gameplay, but whatever. Like, I would understand a little bit more like, hey, you know, I'm trying to get up, climb a hill or something like that. Yeah, that's a bit impossible. But I mean, come on, guys, this is like barely a foot, and you're stopping me. Or at least there's patches where it's like, like right here, it's like I can't move forward at all. So, but whatever. Okay, So open the build menu and build up the hub. Oh wait, I'm apparently missing some. I need 2 more iron. Okay, there we go. Well, clients are your worst enemy. Yeah, pretty much. It seems like it. All right, we'll start that up.
Foundation built. The hub terminal and crafting bench are only the humble beginnings of a successful Fix-It pioneer, but essential for the next steps of onboarding. Once finished, the hub will function as your base of operations. Next objective, complete hub upgrade 1.
Okay, cost can be found and activated in the hub terminal. Right there, okay. Select milestone. I need iron rods. Gotcha. Okay. So, select recipe. Can't afford recipe because I don't have enough iron, or at least. Oh, I need iron ingots. Okay. And then produced in the crafting bench. So I need iron ingots first. So gotcha. Okay. So I have to kind of manually do it. Okay. Or, hold down the craft button in order to process them. Okay. Understandable on that one. And I needed 10 rods for the upgrade, so there you go. Upgrade the hub.
Hub upgrade 1, storage and frame, completed. Equipment like the portable miner can now be made in the workshop. Congratulations on completing your first milestone, the first of many providing access to new recipes and technologies for the Fix-It mission. Next objective, complete hub upgrade 2.
Okay. Let's see. Personal storage box. Okay. For the time being, I'll go ahead and keep all of my keep everything um, on myself for the time being. Looks like, this is my personal inventory, which is fine. I'm not maxed out on anything yet, so, um, so, upgrade 2, okay. So we're looking at 20 more iron rods and 10 iron plates. Gotcha. Okay. What was this about? Equipment workshop. Craft equipment, portable miner, okay. Automatically extracts a resource when placed on a resource node. It's limited storage space. And equipment slot, okay. Now, one thing that I'm going to mention here is the fact that it's instead of basically telling me, hey, let's go ahead and try to build some of these equipment workshops, portable miners, and so on and so forth. The onboarding went to, you know, let's go to hub upgrade 2. It's like, mm, it'd kind of be nice if, you guys kind of gave me a little bit more to, let's test these out here first before we go to upgrade 2. Just saying. So, Um, let's see. So first things first, let's see about trying to get an equipment workshop, which means I need 6 iron plates and 4 iron rods. Okay, let's. Don't think I have those yet on my on that. So, uh, let's see. It was 6 and 4, right? Not. um, so there we go. Do 4 there. Yeah. Ah, there's a to-do list. Gotcha. Um, we don't need to worry about the crafting bench because we already have one already made for us here in the hub, so we don't good to know for a little bit later, but for right now, um, I'll have to worry about later. So, um, careful with the spoilers there, Lop. I don't necessarily want to be spoiled about what's coming forward or ahead. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay. Hmm. Okay, looks like this, we get a certain amount of iron ore from the placement here, but obviously, if I want more iron, I get, that's not exactly, ideal. So, but all right, let's go ahead and get our 6 iron plates. And, oh wait, I need let's see. I'll just go ahead and make these all into iron ingots. There we go. Now let's see. Hmm. Oh, stop. I think I made too many plates that I wanted to do. There we go. Oh well. Let's see. Let's see. We'll start equipment workshop. Don't think there's really anything that I can do in terms of like hooking them both together. At least it doesn't look like there's any way to like, put these together at all. Which, okay, that's all well and good. Yeah. So let's just want to try to get them as close as possible to each other. At least for right now. I'm sure that there's ways for me to, you know, move things around and whatnot, but for right now, proceed to interact with equipment workshop. Okay. Portable miner. Okay, well, we already have the Xenos zapper, so we don't necessarily need to worry about that. I mean, unless there's some way of me, like, destroying it somehow, or it just kind of um, degrades over time, which, could be a thing, understandable on that one. But for the time being, we can at least get our portable miner going here. And I need 4 rods. Okay. Oh, I heard some animal sounds. Hopefully it's nothing coming my way. So, alright. There we go. One portable miner. Now, is that just kind of in my inventory or it is? Equipment slot, hand. Okay. Place miner on our node. Okay. There it goes. And proceed to open portable miner. 20 per minute. Okay. Okay, I don't know how many I can place on one of these nodes. Sometimes they basically say, hey, you can only have, I'm assuming like these are like maybe 2 separate nodes and these iron miners can basically be placed, one on only, per node. But, you never know. Let me test it out. Let me go ahead and make myself a little bit, you know, um, oh, actually, let me go ahead and collect the iron from them. Uh, there we go. And we'll go ahead and like maybe make 3 more for the time being and see um, and um, and test it out. See how many I can place. You know, because right now it's looking like I can only place 2, but if it allows me to place a second one down and, nearby, then then that's good, right? At least for the most part. I think I needed about 8 total on that. Or I think it was what, 4 and 6. So we'll do 12. Oh, 13. Okay. Mm, I'm wondering if there's a way to do like a numbered construction or something like that. Because right now I'm just kind of holding down the spacebar of the craft here to kind of handle that. Um, but, something to worry about a little bit later. Okay. So Crazy, just to let you know, if there's a time when I'm gonna be like, um, it's not a code word, but I'll, direct you, you know, specifically like, hey chat, can you help me out with this particular problem that I'm having? So that's all. Okay. We got 1 there and 2. Okay. Now, uh, okay. There we go. And now place that down. Let's see what happens. Okay. Looks like you can have multiple on them. Awesome. So, So for the time being, I'm just gonna place those down for right now. Let them collect iron. Um, I don't necessarily want a ton of them because I don't know what the next step is gonna be. Like, hey, am I gonna be having to kind of clean up a lot of portable miners after I construct something a little bit better? We'll find out. But for right now, let's go ahead and start looking at the next process because obviously, um, you know, we've built our equipment workshop. We built a couple portable miners, and obviously we got one extra hand slot. Um, so we'll go ahead and start like maybe on the hub upgrade too. Hey, the tablet, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. How's your day been? Um, So this is going to be interesting because obviously we got ourselves, smelter power lines. We're going to be looking for copper ore pretty soon, and obviously all the components of said copper. So let's go ahead and get started on creating ourselves the 20 iron rods and 10 iron plates. So obviously this is like the slow way of going about crafting everything. Because obviously like the most likely like the smelter is going to be able to take these iron ingots and create or take the raw iron and make the iron ingots out of it. You know so um so that'll probably be a little bit easier, but um I don't think there's a way to send like the material um from the portable miners into the smelter yet. So yeah. Okay. So that's going to be it for that. Let's see. Um, so we need 20 and 10. So 10 here. And come on. There we go. And 20 there. There we go. Looks like we got enough. So here we go. Hub upgrade 2 and 20 there. 10 there. And upgrade.
Hub Upgrade 2, Power and Shell, completed. The smelter can turn raw ore such as copper and iron into ingots, and the biomass burner generates power when fueled. Fun fact: most of the native flora and fauna is compatible with Fixit technology.
Oh, that's good.
Fueling the biomass burner with inappropriate materials will result in deductions or even cancellation of your yearly bonus.
Oh no.
Next objective: complete Hub Upgrade 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so um, production buildings like the smelter roll line function when connected to a power source with a power line, which not quite sure how to make said power line, but we'll see what we can do on that. Okay, so configure biomass. Okay. Well, I know you can throw leaves in here per well, let's game it out. Um, so let's see. Hmm. Okay. Give me a second to try to figure this part out here. We don't need to, I don't necessarily want to be scanning for copper yet. Still want to figure out. Hmm, okay, we have ourselves material in there. I guess because I haven't actually created any kind of connection yet, it's basically going, hey, no, you don't, you know, we're not generating any kind of energy or whatnot. So okay. Um, oh, I've seen quite a few of them. Yep, I do know about Tornado Man's, um, you know, what he's done. So, okay, so they're limited by only having about 100 iron per. Gotcha. Okay, good to know. Okay, let's see. Um, Here's a smelter, so we'll go ahead and add that in my to-do list. And okay, so we need one cable, which requires copper. Gotcha. Okay. Uh, we'll add that to my to-do list. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay, what I think I'm gonna do is create another, um, create another one of the, uh, resources, or create another one of the, um, little worker drones there. And then I'm going to search for copper, which, I would hope that it's relatively nearby, but you never know. Okay, I need 4 more rods. Silly me. Okay. And there we go. One would hope that the copper is relatively nearby, but you never know. Okay. So let's see. Um, we want copper. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, there is one node fairly close, so oh yeah. Yep. I'm very much aware of what, Josh did to this game and, why you know, they were like, yeah, we want your save so we can, you know, find out what you did and how to improve upon it. So, okay. All right. Oh, 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 oh. Ah, ow. No, no, no. I'm having a hard time switching between nodes here right at this moment in time. Ow. Okay. Damn it. I forgot how to bring out the zapper again. Too many controls. No, 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 no. There it is. Thank you there. That's the one problem that I have with some of these games is that, uh, you know, uh, when you have like too many button instructions or something like that, I try to fall back on other games to do, um, to like switch items in your hands, and it's like, okay, which one is it? Which one? Kind of thing. So yeah, that's fine. They're crazy. But yeah, that's one of the problems with this game is that, or what I'm seeing right now is that give um they don't give a way to switch between, or okay, okay, I switched over to this using Q, okay, right? So I pop that out and I can't switch back to the other one. So it's weird that, you know, um, I went from, constructing something before and it didn't automatically put the weapon back in my hand afterwards. You see what I'm talking about? You know, like right now it's out and I can't, I'm scrolling the wheel right at this moment in time to try to go to the build tool, but it's um it's not doing that through the scroll wheel. So it's just, I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to kind of explain. Um, it wasn't like on at the ready, and you're doing the, thankfully, crazy, you bringing up the scroll wheel, that definitely helped out. Um, but it's kind of weird that it you know it wasn't out automatically. Hmm. I don't know. All right, there's the copper. There we go. So, like right now, the tool isn't out, and I was like trying to, use Q and use like F, you know. I think I even tried to push E at one point in time to try to bring it out, and nothing was happening. But you know, the weapon is, your self-defense tool isn't out automatically right now. So the fact that the you have to use the scroll wheel to bring out the equipment in your hand automatically is like, so I don't know. I'm probably gonna get caught by that at some point in the future again, and I'm not necessarily looking forward to that. So the tool is not a hand slot, separate thing. Yeah, but it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, um, Like if you drop something in your hand slot, it should automatically switch on over to the your other hand slot kind of thing. You know, seeing that you have two hand slots now, like it should switch on over to the other your other hand afterwards. Just saying, you know. Oh yeah. So I'm just afraid that I'm probably gonna have some difficulties in the future with um, forgetting that I have to use the scroll wheel to get to my self-defense weapon in the future. So, okay. Let's go ahead and throw all these leaves in there. Doesn't look like it has a cap on that, at least for the most part. Uh, let's see. I need, let's see, what, 5 iron rods. There's that. Probably just gonna need to make a lot of copper ingots for the wires and cables. And I have a lot of iron ingots right now, so I'm not necessarily needing to pull the equipment from the um, from our little miner robots. And thankfully, that one copper resource is fairly close by, so that's nice. If it was like 200 meters away, I'd be like, okay, not exactly an ideal starting area then, but whatever. Um, Keybinds are very customizable. Yeah, no, you know, a game like this, kind of needs to be. So, and I'll probably deal with that, a little bit in the future. Um, I just want to make sure that I get um, some sense of um, what um, you know getting kind of used to what I need to do. So that's all. Now, does the to-do list just kind of show everything that it needs to build in order to build both the power line and the smelter? Hmm, interesting. Okay. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and set up a smelter. Hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna try to put smelter like close by to the iron here, like right there. Um, and then I'm gonna do the power line and set that up there. Okay, now configure smelter. Iron ingots. Hmm. Okay. Now, obviously, conveyor belts are going to be a thing, and I'm going to probably be handling that, probably going to be needing to deal with that, sometime in the future. And obviously, biomass isn't going to be something that is going to be a good method of, energy and you know, over a long period of time. But for right now, this will have to do. So, um, don't have to drive, just double click. Oh, okay. And that's one thing that okay. One thing that I will mention, the crazy. The fact that, the before it kind of gave a tip about, how to like drive the resources around and stuff like that. Um, the double click, is obviously something that isn't necessarily shown in this particular sense either. So it'd be kind of nice if they could just put like a small little, you can see, iron ore used for crafting, most essential basic resource. You're hovering over it, um, for the smelter. It would be kind of nice if they put like a little tip like right below that saying you can double click to add all resource to the input or something along those lines. You know, and obviously I can't do max amount either concerning this, but still, it'd be kind of nice if they could um, have have like a slight tooltip under it or something like that. Add it to their um, add it to the screen somehow. You know, that's all. Okay, we'll let that keep on going. Um, let's see. I'm going to want one more smelter for the oh wait. I don't know if the power line has a long reach. So let's see what happens. So obviously, thought line right now is let's make another smelter over nearby the copper. But um, I might not, and there might not be enough. Uh, there might not be enough. I guess you might say length to get from the hub here all the way over to our little copper resource that's way over here. So um, I doubt that we're gonna I'm gonna be able to that that kind of distance is possible. So um, okay, but we'll see. We'll find out. All right. Let's see. Can I start it there? And put it there. Aha. Okay, so wire's too long, so I need a total of 6 cables total to be able to reach this kind of distance. Gotcha. Okay. Good to know. So, hmm. Oh, right. I don't have enough wiring to handle the cable. There we go. And there we go. Okay. And then looks like our smelter is done here. There we go. Collect all the iron ingots there. Now, okay. Looks like you need to connect to the smelter first to connect to the hub, which kind of would have been nice to have been able to like connect to the hub first, and then drag it with me to the um, to be able to kind of connect there. The power line. Wait. Let's see. Interesting. Doesn't look like there's any way for me to like there appears to be like only one connection that I can connect to, and it's not allowing me to connect any additional empty power line connections. So let me see what I can do here. Okay, I don't really see anything here that would allow for me to add any additional connectors. And it didn't look like it was allowing me to connect it here either. No empty power line connectors. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. I don't think there's any way for me to kind of get past this then, right at this moment in time. Or at least it doesn't necessarily give me anything to kind of, set up, other than like maybe, the power pole here. I would figure that the power generator should have like, multiple power line connectors, but it doesn't seem to be doing that, which is interesting. It's only allowing for like one connector, and it seems very strange. Um, hmm. I think I might be just kind of limited by what I have for it at this moment in time. I don't really see any way of getting around it, so it's not allowing for me to set up a power line. No empty power line connections right at this moment in time, so it looks like I'm pretty much limited. So, okay. Well, then that will just have to wait then, at least for now, until I can get the next tier of hub up. So, okay. Well, what do I need for that again? 20 wire, 10 and 20, or 20, 20, 20, huh? Okay. Let's see. I already have enough in terms of iron resource right at this moment in time. Let's go grab ourselves all the copper that's over here. Although I should be fine overall with the copper that I have on hand, but still, let's go ahead and grab all this. There we go. Okay. Don't need to worry about that right at the moment, so you just need to see, what was it? 20 iron plates. There we go. It was, I believe, 20 iron rods, was it? There we go. And 20 wires. There we go. And should be good. And there we go.
Hub Upgrade 3, Interior Furnishing, completed. The constructor can produce simple parts, and power poles allow for the expansion of the power grid. When you make the inevitable mistake, Fix-It's dismantling feature is designed to salvage all resources used during construction, in line with our zero waste policy. We understand that Fix-It pioneers are only human and thus prone to error. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 4.
Okay. Open character customization. Ah, okay. Interesting. not quite sure what those are all about. Okay, I see the little trinket right there. Probably be a good idea if it kind of zoomed in a little bit on that particular part um, of the hand tool. But okay, because I'm not really seeing that much of a difference, from this kind of distance here for the most part. Like, I've seen some customizations where it's like, they really kind of zoom in you know, on the object in question, that kind of thing. So, all right. Now that we've gotten that taken care of, now let's go ahead and get that power pole going. Oh, but apparently we need concrete. Okay. Can be automated by feeding component parts in via conveyor belt connected to input port. The resulting parts will be automatically extracted to the output port. Okay. Add that there for right now. Okay. See, production buildings are constructed will only function when connected to power source with a power line. Power poles can be used to connect multiple buildings to the same power grid. Yeah, understandable on that. Apparently limestone is what we're going to need to do the construction. Okay, so obviously the 100 is the closest, so oh, okay. Hmm, okay, looks like this is pretty much, you know, um, basically where I can put the miner on and it'll work just fine. Okay, then in that particular regard, then let's go ahead and head on back and get ourselves another one of those little mining machines. Collect some leaves along the way. One of these little portable miners. Okay. I'm just going to make a whole lot of iron plates. ourselves about 20 iron rods or so. Reinforced iron plates. Okay, what's this all about? Screws. There we go. That's all I have to do for right now. Let's see. Go ahead and make ourselves a portable miner. There we go. Oh, I'm assuming that there's some amount of fall damage, but so far it doesn't look like I've fallen far enough to have fall damage, or at least not yet. I don't necessarily want to, find out. So, okay, well that's good. I was afraid that I was gonna have to like maybe try to hand carve this and stuff like that, but it looks like I can just it's flat enough for one of these portable miners. So, all right. Let's see. Nope. Okay, now, I need to worry about concrete now. There we are. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and I need 3 wires. Okay. Let's go ahead and make ourselves quite a number of wires. There we go. And then, let's see. I'll go ahead and set up a power pole right there for the time being. So now, wire is too long. Okay, so no matter what, it looks like I can't do the line all the way out there, even though some lines can travel that amount of distance normally. I mean, that's not that far of a distance. Um, so, okay. Then it looks like I'm going to need to kind of create myself quite a number of power poles here. Now, how much? Let's just go ahead and construct all the concrete here. There we go. Curse me with a bit of trivia. I mean, sure, as long as it's, again, not, you know, let's see. As long as it's not spoiling the, spoiling everything. Okay, there's the distance. Yeah, I guess. Okay, there's that. Then let me take this. Um, which one was it again? Hmm. No. No. Okay. What was the, like, a deconstruct again? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Let's see. So, another thing that, I see, like, you know, you obviously my model is kind of blocking a little bit of it, but there's some indicators down here as to, like, like, hey, you can do this and do that. But right now I'm trying to find, like, what key do I need to, what I'm trying to do is try to take this wire here, um, and basically move it over to this one here, so that I can free up this particular joint here, move this wire over to that one so that, powers everything that's connected to it, and I can, then place the wire there. Maybe, is it F? No, I don't want to. There we go. Okay. It was F. Gotcha. And now we want power line from there to there. And then power line from there to there. But I'm missing cables. Gotcha. Okay, so make a whole bunch of cables. Let's make ourselves quite a bit of wires again. There we go. And then that to that. Okay, so now technically you know, all these machines should relatively have power. Obviously, they're not really running right at this moment in time because they're not like, I haven't put anything inside them to, um, you know, to construct. Ooh, okay. I'm assuming red is indicating that it the amount of oh no, it's still green. Okay, so it's just not it just wasn't powering or it wasn't like um, maybe it just didn't have any kind of construction going or didn't it didn't have the resource that it was going to smelt. That's why it was red, and because it wasn't smelting anything, it's, yellow for being inactive. Or at least that's what I'm making the assumption right at this moment in time. So, so if I was to put iron in here, we got our, um, well, it's yellow. Hmm. Okay, 500 max. Gotcha. Hmm. Oh, had 100 iron max on that one. Gotcha. Okay. Um, let's see. Next, I want to do um, let's add another smelter. Can I? I see like I have 1 and 2 heat down here. I can bind it to a hotbar. Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Um, and then we'll do constructor 4 there. I saw the bind to hotbar down here, so um, okay. Everything looks to be relatively in order right at this moment in time. So what I want to do now is um, construct another smelter over by the concrete. So mm, I'm running out of inventory slots. So I might need to start throwing things into the my storage pretty soon, but not yet. Not yet. Um, let's see. Um, okay, looks like I have enough to construct a smelter off the top. So let's go ahead and construct one over here by the um, the limestone. There we go. Then we're going to do power line. And it automatically generates a power pole from it. Nice. There we go. and the wire goes through the planet. Okay. Um, guess they never really decided to change that. So, but you got they got a lot on their hands already. You know, Josh already kind of shown that particular um, process. So, oh, okay. I guess here I was thinking that I could maybe do a limestone to concrete with over here, but I guess that's not part of the smelter's job, which I mean makes sense. Um, it's probably something that the um, the constructor can do. So, hmm, you know what? In that case, let's go ahead and just um, um, let's go ahead and just demolish that automatically. Don't really need it there if I'm having to um, I need to make some more cables. Um, if it's not going to be useful over there, might as well just get it get it out of the way. So, okay, make ourselves quite a number of cables. Make ourselves some more wires again. There we go. And then let's see. Reinforced iron plates. Okay. I need 2 reinforced iron plates in order to do the constructor, so there we go. So we'll go ahead and set that up right there. And obviously I don't have a conveyor belts yet. So obviously I can't necessarily make do with um, you know, um, I can't necessarily um, start piping things in here to, make iron plates, iron rods, so on and so forth. So at least not yet. So, um, and asked about the clipping. Their answer was they realize those who care about the clipping will go out of their way to avoid it, and those who don't, Josh, really do not. So it's better to let people have their fun however they have it. Yeah, I mean, so there's 2 ways. There's um, the problem with clipping. Specifically like in this particular case with the the power line going through, you know, like, solid mass, like, the planet, you know, like the planet itself, is that it, um, you know, creates that, you know, illusion that once again, I mean, obviously you can try to, um, construct everything in such a way where you want to make it look authentic, but as soon as you see, clipping like that happen, then it kind of takes away from that sense of um, reality. Which, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of games kind of suffer from that anyway, especially like, um, survival games. Subnautica, for example, was one of those games that, once again, had its issues with clipping as well. Um, so I'm not saying that, oh my God, Satisfactory is terrible because it can't handle clipping. No, no, it just, um, it just kind of takes away a little bit from the immersion effect, I guess you might say. Much like how seeing fish swimming around in your habitat is kind of taken away from the immersion in Subnautica, for example. So that's all. Just just the just that kind of sense of um, distortion kind of thing. But it is what it is. You know. Okay. So, obviously we got ourselves all the, constructor power poles, concrete screws, reinforced iron plates, and limestone all kind of taken care of here, so that's good. Um, and clip power lines through Earth in real life. Well, yes and no. We clip it through the Earth and on our end, um, because we drill the necessary holes in order to allow for the clipping of the power lines through the earth. Um, Otherwise, um, you know, them instantaneously appearing in the earth and out of the earth is, you know, um, yeah, that's not that great. So, okay, so it obviously we got ourselves our first conveyor belts with the hub upgrade 4, which is great. Um, Connects conveyor belt segments. Pull height can be adjusted, useful for routing conveyor belts more precisely and across long distances. Okay. 3 inventory slots. Okay. Well, looks like I'm gonna need to do quite a bit of work unless. Oh wait. Um. Power that up. It's just clipping with extra steps. Yeah. But that's the thing, the extra steps, is, you know, kind of necessary, in real life, whereas, here you don't really do that, and that's why it's like it throws it off a bit. That's all. It's like the Subnautica when you have fish swimming through your habitats, and it's like, wait, how did you get here? Kind of thing. This doesn't make any sense. Okay. I'm just gonna let this kind of do its construction of the concrete here for the time being. Seeing that I'm going to be needing a lot of concrete in order to, well, not a lot of concrete, but I'm going to need a lot of iron plates. There we go. Oh no, I need 75, which is kind of irritating seeing that they come in stacks of 2, but whatever. There we go. And then we need 20 wires, or 20 cables. There we go. There we go. Grab all that. And then hub upgrade 4.
Hub Upgrade 4, Landing Platform and Utilities, completed. Conveyor belts connect the output of one building to the input of another and transport resources. Due to past incidents, I have been asked to issue a clarification. Portable miners, obviously, do not have a connection for conveyor belts.
Indeed.
There is nothing to suggest, visually or functionally, that they can be connected to portable miners.
Indeed.
If this is something you struggle with, do not worry. Fixit has alternative uses for all their pioneers. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 5.
Okay. So, we get our miner Mark 1s, which, should allow for us to basically replace our portable miners with these, which allow for the conveyor belts. So, storage containers is nice. Some additional inventory slots, which, I mean, um, the fact that, I got the 3 automatically is nice. So, okay. Let's go ahead. Can I pull that out? I can. Awesome. What we're going to do is we're gonna want to do, a way for us to kind of just do, iron plating here. Which, or, what I'm probably gonna need to do is construct multiple constructors. Um, um, and for the time being, I'm probably gonna need like 3 different smelters to do. Oh, okay. So mentality, right at this moment in time, right? Um, I would need to do, um, 1 smelter to generate, or I'm probably going to need like 3 smelters to do the get the iron ingots out. Okay, to take the raw iron in, output the iron ingots, and then have one conveyor belt from one smelter going down into this constructor for iron plates. Another one for just iron rods in general. Um, and um, and then I'm probably gonna want to do um, like find some way of doing like a split, to kind of maybe, well, I don't know. I don't know how many screws I need through it all, but I mean, um, maybe a lot. Hard to say. Same kind of thing with right now. I know about these, the conveyor belt splitters. Um, basically dividing the um, uh, you know, dividing um, resources, equally down like two paths, right? Or maybe you can kind of set it up differently along those lines, but um, obviously, in order to really get the constructors really, you know, moving along, um, we're gonna need to um, really generate, or we're gonna need to be able to kind of split the conveyor belts into the right kind of smelters, into the right kind of constructors. So, but I don't have that yet. Um, so okay, so now we have iron ingots going in here, and we're gonna make it's gonna just kind of be making a lot of iron plates, which is good. Kind of needed to do that because it looks like iron plates are something that I'm gonna be needing a lot of anyway. Um, so next thing I'm probably gonna want to do is yeah, I'm gonna need to generate a lot of wires. Okay, so I need two more reinforced arm plates. Actually, let's create four of these. So, oh, I need 12 screws in order to make one iron plate. Gotcha. So, I mean, let's just there's that. I need four iron plates in order to make two constructors. So let's go ahead and make ourselves some more iron rods here real quick so we can generate a lot of iron screws, or a lot of the screws here. And just generate a whole bunch of them just so I have them on hand. Alright, that'll be fine for right now. Let's go ahead and make ourselves the four reinforced plates. Okay. And then we need a lot of wires, or a lot of cables, which I don't have a lot of wires. Okay. We're going to max out our wires here. There we go. Okay. Now, the thing that I'm kind of wondering about is whether or not I can put, two of the Mark 1 miners in the same node. I'm probably not gonna it's probably not possible, but again, I don't really know. Um, Maybe there's a way that I can put a portable miner on, along with it, but I don't know. That seems like kind of redundant, or kind of a waste of potential on that. So, um, so right now, like, hey, we have, copper ore coming into the copper ingot, and that's fine. Um, but the what I'm probably going to be kind of faced with right now is the fact that, um, you know, um, wait, I forgot to make all the cables I needed. Dope. Um, I'm probably going to want to um, have like, two smelters going into, two constructors to make the, separate, you know, one for the wires to go directly into making cables and um, and one just making wires in general. So, you know, or at least that's kind of my thought line right at this moment in time. So, um, basically, two constructors, handling, working on two different processes, kind of thing. So we'll do like one constructor there, and then another constructor there, and then ooh, need iron plates. Okay. Well, thankfully I have a lot of iron plates being constructed over here, so there we go. Actually, it looks like I already have a lot of iron ore, so let's just go ahead and set that going. Okay. Let's go and put this down on 5. There we go. And then we'll just have it do wire. Ah, right. No power. Power there. And then power there. to power there. Okay. So now, we have ourselves, you know, um, one constructing wires, which is, necessary, which is good. Um, let's see, grab that. Make sure, oh, we're still cooking up some copper ore over here. Okay. Well, they'll be fine for right now. Um, again, I'm probably gonna want to create like another smelter up here, or like maybe move it over here and then kind of move the conveyor belt, this one over on to this one, you know, have them basically both constructing wires, and then, you know, have this one kind of outputting to like another constructor over here to construct the cables. At least that's the thought line that I'm having right at this moment in time. So, but for right now, I think that's going to be it for now. Um, I know that I didn't really get very far on this, but I mean, there was still a lot of trial and error on this. So, um, you know what? Before I go, let's do, let's see, let's at least get to this point here. So, um, let's change the production to iron rods. Hmm. I do notice the kind of the slowdown in production, it seems like. Probably due to the consumption of power, most likely. Like, right now, you know, ooh, looks like I'm not gonna have a whole lot of power coming up here pretty soon already, so yeah. So that's one thing that I'm probably gonna have to, well, we'll have to see how that's gonna be handled here fairly shortly. I would imagine that after hub upgrade 5, it should kind of give me like another power boost. Um, but um, I think for the time being, let's go ahead and kind of stop here for this, slow introduction to Satisfactory. Obviously, there's still a lot more to do, a lot more to automate. Um, you know, um, I'm not necessarily, happy too much with the way everything is kind of organized, but I do feel like this is the best thing that I can do for the time being, because I know as soon as I get these, the miners up, the Mark 1 miners up, this is gonna look absolutely like claustrophobic with the amount of machines that are going to be in this particular neighborhood. So that's just going to have to be something that I'm going to have to worry about um, in the future. So, um, but yeah, I think that's going to be it for now. We're just going to go ahead and save our world. Um, yes. strange world. um, and um, let's see. I think that's where we're gonna go ahead and stop it for right now. Slow introduction. Um, and obviously, if we get to this level of construction in the future, then um, that's gonna be interesting. I would imagine that's probably something that can and will happen in the future, but we'll see. Um, or it could be just someone, them showing off players' design, which also could be quite possible. So, but that's going to be it for this first playthrough of Satisfactory. Um, a little bit of, small problems here and there, but overall, you know, um, you know, um, you know, I could see like a few, uh, like a couple tiny, um, improvements to the game, such as like, tooltips, um, uh, methods of, um, like, um, you know, is something on screen to kind of show you how to bring out your defensive weapon, for example. Um, the fact that, small little steps was blocking my path, um, that kind of stuff. So for right now, you know, um, overall, you know, it's definitely, a very clean game. Um, just small improvements from what I've seen so far. Um, but we'll see what else comes along down the path on this. So there's still a lot more for me to do. Um, we'll see what I can do, like maybe on the next stream. Um, like I said, I don't know when I'll be able to do this again. Um, maybe I'll do this like on a weekend every Saturday. I don't know. Something to consider. Um, but yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. So I want to thank Crazy and let's see, Lop for joining me. Don't know about the other guy, so I'm just not gonna bother with that. So, um, but yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I catch you next time. Until then, take care. Have a good night. Stay healthy. Stay safe. I'll catch you strangers next time.